Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a Lego set and to hang out with all of you. Before things get too crazy, I'm going to throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can say hi or use my emotes. If you're not yet a subscriber, you can use other people's emotes. You can just say hi as well. You can be a lurker. That's okay. Currently, not too many folks watching the stream tonight, which is a shame. But is a thing that happens sometimes. You know, it's Summer Game Fest Eve, so I guess people are just taking a break from watching streams so that they can watch streams tomorrow and throughout the weekend, because there's a bunch of them. There are legitimately quite a few streams coming up this weekend that gamers, capital G gamers, might be interested in. I watched one. I watched an event today. I watched the Gorilla Collective show today. So I've kicked things off. I will be watching Summer Game Fest tomorrow. What is it? It starts here. It starts 4:45. Yeah, so I'll be watching some of Summer Game Fest, if not all of it. I'll catch what I missed later. Probably won't watch Day of the Devs. Or Devolver. No plans right now to watch either of those. I will watch I will watch Wholesome Direct and possibly Future of Play Direct, but definitely Wholesome. I enjoy Wholesome. That's at noon on Saturday, so I'll watch that Eastern time, I should say. And then I believe some people I know have some games on the Future Games show, so I'll be checking that out. And then I will most likely on Sunday watch the Xbox showcase. And on Monday, I will most likely end up watching the Ubisoft. That's mainly because Jeff Gerstmann is going to be streaming co-streaming the Ubi one. And I'm going to mod chat for that because I am available for that. But I'm not. I wouldn't normally watch the Ubisoft. And I might not even watch the Xbox, but hey, Lord Crashton, welcome. And then Dames for Games is next week, and I might check that out too. But yeah, there's a lot of Saturday stuff that I'm like, I might check that out. I don't know yet. There are a lot of these shows. I didn't watch the OTK Games Expo. I don't know anything about that. And tomorrow, I probably only watch Summer Game Fest. Probably won't watch anything else. But yeah, there's a lot around Summer Game Fest for us to enjoy together. Currently, together, we're at 28 subscribers out of 50. The goal is to get to 50. I shut up at 50. I will fairly soon change that number. You know what? I can just do that now. Why don't we just do that now? Let's see here. Clip that's a manage goal. I am going to let's see. Description. Yeah, I'm going to change this goal. Can I not do that? Can't I customize progress bar? Thought I could customize. I guess I have to change the goal to then. What the? Sorry, I thought I could. Manage my goal. For whatever reason, I can't manage my goal here. I can end the goal. So I'm going to end the goal because I couldn't manage it, and I don't know why. So now I'm going to manage goals, and I'm going to set up a new one, and I'm going to set up 44 as the new goal. The new goal is 44. There we go. New sub goal added. Trying to get to 44. That's my age. By the time I stream on June 21st for my birthday stream, I would like to hit 44 subscribers. And then it'll go up from there. It'll go from 44 all the way up to a higher number that I haven't figured out yet. But yeah, that's the goal has been updated. We're going to shoot for 44, which will be my age. Currently still 43. Let's see. Looks like, yeah, we've got a really, let's call it, relaxed stream tonight. Uh, Not a lot of folks here hanging out with us, which is okay. It's all right. It happens. Uh, so, not the end of the world, but it would be nice if a few more folks decided to join us. But if they don't, and that's okay. Tonight, we are continuing to work on the Lego Retro Camera 3-in-1, which we'll look at right now. This is the progress we have made on this kit on Monday. As you can see, there. It opens up in the back to load the film. We haven't completed that yet. We're working on the front of the camera here. Eventually, we put in the lens and do all that stuff. We haven't gotten there yet. We're going to get there. We haven't gotten there yet. So let's move things along. Hello, Lashbrook. Welcome to the old Build With Baer Workshop. We are now working on parts of the front of the camera. There is a big gap here. I believe that is probably because of the way the film loads in this. So we got to do that as well eventually. Well, not yet, but we're getting there. And then, of course, we'll completely take apart the camera and then build the TV and the camcorder, which is fun because we will be building a camcorder that's not HD, but we'll be building a camcorder to then put on our camcorder. Did I do these wrong? I did these wrong. Great. But we're going to use a camcorder to film the building of a Lego camcorder. And I find that fun. That's enjoyable for me, your friend Pat. I find that to be amusing. Okay. So now we'll put that on there. And try to get that in. Come on. There we go. Some of this build order feels odd, but it's working, so I'm not going to complain. Let's see. Hey, Dragon Age. Lord Christ says, I'm listening to Jeff's podcast and my brain couldn't handle his pronunciation of Concord until he explained that this is how the California city is pronounced. Yes, Concord. Yes, he was pronouncing it like the place, not like Concord, the other place, the jet. The other place besides that the place in America it's based on, yada, 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 and such. Concord grapes, various other ways to pronounce it. Concord, he is conquered. It's almost, I thought at first that he was trying to say it like Concord's Bad Fur Day, but he wasn't trying to say that. He was not trying to say Concord's Bad Fur Day style. And doing that, he was not doing a bit. I thought he was doing a bit, but he wasn't. Hey, Dragon Age has a new title, and is coming out some point. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the BioWare release where they talk a lot before they say Dragon Age, the Veil Guard, one word. So now, is it possible that they also will show something from Dragon Age at a showcase this weekend? Yes. It would be weird if they made this announcement and then didn't, and then did. So I guess maybe they won't. They can name it whatever they want when it has no release date. Lord Crashington, you got to name it before you can have a release date. You gotta have a name for it before you can say that it's coming out. Also, I'm just gonna blanket say this. This is to help you, the folks watching this right now. I am doing this as a public service as best I can. Lower your expectations. Hey, Aristophan. In general, lower your expectations, but certainly in the realm of Summer Game Fest, you're not gonna be happy with Summer Game Fest this year because the video games that you want to play don't exist. They don't exist yet. They don't exist in a done fashion. They aren't ready to come out. They will not be announced that they are coming out. That game, thank you very much, Aristophan. I did change that. I don't know why it didn't change back, but I appreciate that. Thank you very much. My category was still Pokemon Black. I did change it. It did not stick, apparently. That's fun. I'll do that. Thank you very much for saying. The games that they teased with a CGI trailer 3 years ago, those aren't coming out. Will they come out? Possibly. They might have been canceled without saying anything because the game company would like you to forget that they ever talked about that game. That's certainly a possibility. But well, feel free to hang out, Aristovan. It will be fairly chill. But I do want to just get ahead of people and say that your expectations should be low with this one. Some games are just not going to get announced. Some developers are just, or publishers are just not going to bring anything to anybody. They're going to have, like, Capcom might literally be talking about the DLC for a game that just came out and one game. Capcom might not be talking about anything except for one game and DLC that already came out because they don't have anything else to talk about. Because things aren't ready, because money is dried up, and the year 2000 fucked over 2020 fucked over game development, and we are starting to see that come to fruition. But yeah, because people were like, wait, that Sony thing from last week, like, that's supposed to be their E3 presentation, right? And it's like, no, E3 doesn't exist anymore. Don't compare Summer Game Fest to E3, but also don't expect this year to be a banger. This summer stuff isn't going to be a banger because there aren't bangers. Like, people were like, oh, the Sony focused on what's coming out this year, but also said in an earnings call that shit wasn't coming out this year. That people should not be expecting stuff to come out this year. So, like, heavy hitters. Like, they told the people that control the purse strings for Sony, hey, we're not gonna have bangers this year. We're gonna have a few things, but we won't have any, like, top tier stuff. And people were still like, no, they didn't show anything at this thing. It's like, yeah. Lord Crash says, I was planning to have unrealistic expectations to be mad when they're not met. Yeah, I mean, like, look, that's still going to happen. I think the general consensus is going to be that people are like, where are the games? And the answer is going to be, have you looked around? Where are the game devs? They're unemployed. I don't know why you would think that games can get made without people to make them. Hell, people are talking about, like, this Destiny expansion and how many people who no longer work at Bungie worked on this expansion. It's a lot. A lot of people who don't work for that company anymore worked on that expansion and don't get any of the credit for it. Jeff Keeley said, no Kingdom Hearts 4 at Summer Game Fest, but that's because it's hidden in the PC gaming showcase. No, it's not. It's because that game doesn't exist yet. Probably. They probably never started working on it. It's probably in the minorest form of development by a company that doesn't have time to make Kingdom Hearts 4. They will at some day, but they're not doing it now. It's not going to be there. A bunch of things that people are like, oh, I bet this will be a surprise. It's like, probably not. I think this is the year of just, like, some games. But yeah, I mean, even this thing, Dragon Age the Veilguard. You would imagine BioWare might have that at an event. Some event might have Dragon Age the Veilguard, right? No. They're going to have a thing on June 11th. At like 8 a.m. Pacific on their YouTube channel. 15 minutes of gameplay of the opening moments of the game. Maybe there'll be more than that. Maybe they will have something this weekend. But that's what they're promoting. They're promoting, hey, we got this thing. We hope you will come watch it on Tuesday. but yeah, it's gonna be weird. Um, it's gonna be weird this year. I think. I think people are gonna be like, because I hear it from people who the summer for them is these events, right? These events are their summer, um, and to not have something like this in the summer feels very weird to them. Uh, and I understand that. This is weird. That's so weird. Oh, there it is. Okay. I couldn't see it because of the way the paper folded, but I missed a piece that had to go in there. But yeah, I think people are just overall going to have to manage expectations about what this summer game fest stuff is going to be. Like, there will be games. There were 40 games in the Gorilla um, uh, showcase. I'm not going to go through the Gorilla Collective showcase. I'm not going to go through all of them because there were 40 of them. Now, some of them didn't have much to say, and some of them were things that didn't necessarily appeal to me, so I didn't quite pay attention to them. But, like, that's still a ton of games. It's just none of those games are $90 or sorry, $70, spend $100 to get it a weekend early games that are knock your socks off. 100 people worked on like this in one studio and 300 worked at a collection of 4 other studios on this game. Like that's not part of those 40. Publishers seem to not want to just announce a bunch of games as soon as they decide it should be made these days, so people have to wait for official announcements closer to launch. Lord Crash, and then that's not even the case. They don't have games to show. They do announce like a bunch of stuff announced at the Game Awards are not here this summer because they announced it. They'll do the announcement trailer. Hey, we're working on this thing. What they aren't going to do is just go, hey, remember this thing? We have nothing else to say about it except we have key art now. They're not doing the intermediary steps. They're announcing new things, and then they're doing the press when it's on its way out. What they're not doing anymore is wasting everyone's time with like, hey, it's got multiplayer. Did we say that before? Oh, we did? Okay, we're saying it again. So they're cutting out some of the cycle with the like, we let one website play half of a level for our demos that we only send to internal QA. They've kind of done away with that a bit. So they're announcing games ahead of time. They're just not going out of their way to pump the game over and over and over again. And so what you end up happening is a situation where a game gets announced, everyone forgets about it, and then if they don't make that game, they just never talk about it. And then somebody will go, hey, whatever happened to this game? And they don't, then they never get an answer. Or you have a situation where people don't hear about a game and make wild nonsense speculation and accusations about the game and how gamers being lied to, and they don't have that thing and they need that thing, and where's the thing you promised us? You promised us this video game, and where's our fucking video game? I missed a step somewhere in here. Where's this fucking video game you owe us because you mentioned it once at a festival? So how dare you not have it? Where's the game that you promised us? Or another trailer comes out like 2 years after the first trailer, and people are like, I don't remember this at all. I have no memory of this game. This game was announced before? Okay. And then one person who's been on like a fan Discord for that game for like 4 years is just like, how can you not remember this game? It was one of 7 mentioned at the Game Awards from a publisher that laid off half of its staff 2 years ago. How can you not remember this game? It's like, yeah, can't remember everything. But mostly also, there's going to be some mid-tier stuff. There won't be as much mid-tier stuff because Nobody is offering good deals to indie developers right now. They just aren't. They're not offering good deals. Mid-tier publishers are just losing funding left and right. And so they don't have the funding to then give to people. It's fucking rough out there, I will just say. All right, so this is going to go... This doesn't make any sense. This goes in like this, and it tells me where this goes. And it kind of just goes here. I guess it just goes like that, and then, obviously these don't move, and this isn't going to move, but it's just like a rubber piece placed in a weird spot. And then eventually... Okay, yeah. And then I'm just going to stick it in there, weirdly. Strange. Some of this is odd. Some of this build is very weird. And I don't dislike it, but it is weird. Because then I'm just going to go like this. So there. That's how this thing gets put in place. There's a piece of rubber in there. And then it's just hanging out. Locked in place. That is a weird design. Should also say, Behavior had layoffs. We cannot go a model kit building or Lego building stream, unfortunately, without talking about layoffs. I wish I could go a stream without it. Unfortunately, it's possible. The Dead by Daylight folks, Behavior Interactive, reduced. They laid off. I don't want to say reducing 95 jobs. I want to say they laid off 95 people. 70 were from the Montreal studio. That does not include Eric Pope. Eric Pope was apparently not part of these layoffs, but he certainly would know people that were laid off within the company that he currently works at. That's a goddamn shame. That's a lot of fucking people. They had been adding people. The thing I didn't know about Behavior is that they're well over 1,000 employees. Which I did not know that they were well over 1,000 employees. And so you can kind of understand why in this current economy, why they would be reducing headcount. You can kind of understand where that comes from. That still doesn't make it feel any better at all that folks are out of work, but it is slightly more understandable. They seem to have staffed up quite a bit, and maybe they fucking shouldn't have. Maybe they shouldn't have staffed up so fast. Perhaps they fucked up. Speaking of fucking up, I am missing a piece. Kinda. There it is. I found it. A piece that I was looking for slid underneath the build surface, which is not great. I was like, I can't find this. So these are, these pieces here are supposed to signify something. So we'll get this whole thing built here. Components of a film camera. I certainly don't know every word when it comes to this stuff. I'll do my best, but I don't pretend to know everything about cameras. At least they didn't lose their healthcare with layoffs. Yes, in Canada, certainly there are protections in Canada that other people don't have in other parts of the world, particularly here in the United States. But yeah, the Just Cause Avalanche, Just Cause people laid off folks there. And closed some of their studios. That was on Monday, so this happened on Tuesday. Let's see. In a bit of hopefully good news, Rogue Snail, the developer Rogue Snail, has gotten the publishing rights to the game they've been working on. Relic Hunters Legends is a shooter that came out in early access last year. And they were being published by Arc Games, and that deal has ended, and they have split. But Rogue Snail, I should say, Rogue Snail currently has they have full rights to their game, and they can now pursue hopefully a new publishing deal. But can they continue on? Apparently the deal was going pretty good, but they're let's see. Hey, thank you, Gary. Gary in Nature just subbed to tier 1. That's 49 months total. Thank you so much, Gary. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Thank Gary very much. We are currently at 27 subscribers. The goal is to get to 44, which will be my upcoming birth date, year, I should say. I'll be 44 years old this month. So I'm trying to get to my birth, trying to get to that number. But thank you very much, Gary. Appreciate you very much. Let's see. Apparently, so far, Arc Games, the only publishing deal that seems to have ended within Arc, has been that although the folks that make Hyperlight Breaker, which is being published by Arc, Heart Machine is basically kind of teasing that they're not going to be working with Arc. They're going to be working with Devolver on their next project. But yeah, Relic is going to try to find new partners to keep the early access game going. And apparently, even though something was good, also now apparently Rogue Snail is reducing its workforce some. They're laying some folks off because they do not have a publisher and do not know when that's going to be coming in. Gary says, I had a high school friend in the industry in Seattle get laid off twice with 2 different companies in 9 months. Rough time. Yeah, first in, first out is certainly happening in the games industry right now. And you can, you're new on the job, and they're going to restructure, and suddenly the job that you had a couple months ago doesn't exist anymore. And that's fucking terrifying. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, that mixed bag on that one, but still good on them. So I'm just going to say it that I'm going to say I'm not going to get deep on the how much a trailer can cost someone or a company to be at Summer Game Fest, because here's my opinion on it. It's not an interesting opinion that people really want to hear. It is unfortunately a hot take, which is Summer Game Fest wouldn't happen if people weren't willing to pay the money to be part of it. Not everyone is going to pay that amount of money, because some developers, some publishers aren't going to pay any money because they're so big that the Summer Game Fest people are going to aren't going to ask for money. And also, it's not that much money. It is a lot of money. The idea of the top end of the longest trailer for Summer Game Fest, $550,000. That amount of money is a lot of fucking money. That's $500,000. And I understand that $500,000 is a lot of fucking money. That money, for me, your friend Pat, would be life-altering. That would be a life-altering sum of money. But at the same time, if you compare that to E3, that's fucking nothing. Any show, any mid-tier show, or expensive trade show, I saw fucking the head of the host of an event business He's not the head of an event. He's the host of an event business. One of their signature events. I saw this man talking about how this was a scam. And I was like, you probably have no fucking idea how expensive it is for people to run a booth at the events that you are the host of. You probably have no concept of it. And you don't want to know. You don't want to know how expensive it is for EA or Nintendo to have a booth at your events. You don't want to know that because you would think that's too much money. But it's a lot of fucking money. And again, the same people who are like, this is a scam, that's too much money, all that, they probably didn't watch the Guerrilla Collective today, which obviously far lower in cost. Day of the Devs, they might hear about a few things at Day of Devs, but they're not paying attention to that. It's just an easy thing to get mad about and dunk on. But my particular opinion on it is that it's like, yeah, that's a lot of money. Here's the thing. Saving that amount of money isn't going to keep people's jobs because that's not the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, if there's a big game from a studio that laid people off, that money wasn't going to keep people's jobs. Those people were going to get laid off. Because shareholders don't care that you spend a bunch of money at an event. But if you tell them that you have reduced the workforce, they love that shit. They love that shit. And if you're like, hey, we had this big showing. We had a 3-minute trailer at the height, in the middle of some Summer Game Fest. We were the last thing shown at Summer Game Fest. It cost us $480,000. People will be like, great, money well spent. Good job. Good, thank you. Great job. You know? It is a lot of fucking money, but also at the same time, it is a drop in the bucket for marketing. It's not a scam because Summer Game Fest has a live component to it and press go to events there. The streams get viewers. People want to tune in and watch it. Some of it is nostalgia for what was. Some of it is just people who are desperate to justify their hundreds of dollars spent on a new graphics card or a game console or a new TV or whatever, or they simp for a company and they can't wait to see what Microsoft is going to show, or they just fucking can't wait to be mad and annoyed with whatever they put out. They're like, oh, look at this company. This company I don't like didn't have a good Summer Game Fest. Hell yeah. This makes me happy for some reason. But it is my general opinion that, like, yeah, the lowest amount for some of these trailers for like a 30-second trailer is a ridiculous amount of money, but also that's what you would expect. Some people were talking about like E3 booth space cost or like food costs. Like if you had a booth at E3 that you would have to get catering through Union, and how much money that was to just do that, or the people like GameSpot used to have a certain amount of stuff that they would do through Union, and then like the assembly, you had to pay the unions to assemble stuff, right? And that's going to cost a ton of money because it's union work. Fuck yeah, hell yeah, awesome. Charge those big companies all that dumb money. But then a company like GameSpot would pay the union fees, but then they would have their employees who are working the booth, which a lot of times was just for live shows, bring in supplies. in bags, in personal bags, so that they didn't have to pay as much to the union people to transport in, like stuff. They'd be like, oh yeah, well we have to bring in the cameras. We can't afford to have them bring in the cameras. You got to bring in the cameras. Um, the amount of money that people spent on events like that is astronomical. But they had budgets for it. They would set aside budget for those things. You know, and the smaller folks make do with less amounts of money. They make do with the small amount of money that they have. They figure out ways to do it. I mean, the amount of sound bars returned to Best Buy on the day after gaming events must be so high. There must be so many people who try to return TVs and sound bars to big box stores at the end of conventions. Or like, I know there are numerous PAXs where if you were a Boston-based company, like I want to say Double Fine made a deal with Harmonix to leave TVs just for PAX because it just cost so much money to ship them back. And then like they would loan Harmonix TVs at like the Seattle shows, PAXs, and like they had like a deal working there. Rami Ishmael gave away a TV if you had the best score on Nuclear Throne at the end of PAX. You won a TV because it was easier. He just like wrote it off, and that was the easiest way to get rid of that TV, was to just give it away. Because then also there's one person out there that has the best fucking story about the company that he was in. Hello. Because it was like, oh yeah, somebody out there has the story that they won a 22-inch television at PAX one year. And so, so the company has a great story to tell. Yeah, people would work that. Any Boston company would just get offered a bunch of things. They would just get offered stuff because people would like buy things locally and set up their booths and then tear down the booths and just be like, do you want this? Do you want this thing? What's happening right now? Do we have to deal with all this? Do I have to deal with all this? We'll see. We'll see if we have to deal with any of this stuff. But yeah, there were just people who were like, the cost of events is so big that when like kind of out of nowhere, a report comes out of like how much a trailer costs at a show like Summer Game Fest to have your trailer be shown there, that it can really seem like this scam. But it's like, I mean, the companies are willing to pay it, and then you would assume that eventually there'd be a point where companies wouldn't want to pay that amount, and then they would adjust for it. Go ahead and yeah, we're gonna take care of that for that stuff. Don't I don't need I'm just gonna block weirdos in chat tonight. I'm just gonna go ahead and block weirdos. If I'm blocking someone and it turns out they weren't a weirdo, that's fine. I apologize. People can always try to they can always try to fight me on it, I guess. They can always try to fight me on these things, but I'm just gonna go ahead and not deal with it. I just don't want to. Just don't want to. You know what I mean? Um, you know what I mean. I just don't want to. We are almost done on this particular build here. We do have to build the film for it, right? Yeah. So we got to build the film, I believe. But we'll do the cool thing here, which is we're going to put on the strap, this weird special strap that came on here. That looks nice. Nice little Lego. Fun bit of business here. We don't need this. Yeah. A lot going on with Summer Game Fest and all that. But yeah. Speaking of Summer Game Fest stuff, because of this here, we will say that a lot of games were announced at the Guerrilla Collective, and some of them weren't announced so much as like they're known quantities. We just were going to see them there. The ones that were stood out to me as being like pretty interesting and pretty cool. The number one was Reckless. It is a like online group up to 50 skaters at once skateboarding game. Simultaneous skate. You can build skate parks and do mini games with people. It just seems fun. It seems really neat. I don't know if I would get into it myself, but it does seem very cool. I like that. There is going to be a weird thing. Volgar the Viking 2 is coming out. That's not that weird that they're making a sequel to Volgar the Viking. It feels like it's been a while since the first one, but that is cool. Here's the one that I meant to say that was weird. Knights in Tight Spaces, and that's Knights with a K. Knights in Tight Spaces is coming out. And this is like a standalone thing. It is not the same as Fights in Tight Spaces, but it is similar. Obviously, same people making it. It's a deck building game, so it's different in many aspects. But it's kind of a neat idea. I thought it was a neat idea. This weird deck builder. SteamWorld Heist 2. I guess SteamWorld Heist sold well enough that they're going to make a sequel to that, which is cool. I liked SteamWorld Heist. I just have an appreciation for the SteamWorld games. I'm glad they exist. I'm glad that they keep getting made and they keep making more cool things for that. Disco Samurai seems pretty cool. That's not a game that I would necessarily pick up myself, but that definitely is a game that I would like to see. I'd like to see people play. That feels like a game that, like, if I knew someone was streaming that, I would check out Disco Samurai. It's a good vibe to it. Like a cyberpunk themed rhythm game is pretty fucking interesting. I had these the wrong way. That's just like an interesting premise that I would not mind seeing myself. You know what I mean? Let's see. Let's see. Fallen Aces seems kind of fun. A noir first person shooter, like, yeah, interesting vibes to it. And it kind of looks very 90s. I'm into that. I wrote down like a bunch of these and highlighted a bunch that I thought would be fun to talk about. There's another Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit, which is at least a good name. I don't know if that's that. Hey, turns out that's not my fucking jam at all. No part of that is my goddamn jam, but I know some people that are pretty psyched about it. Demon School. Demon School is one of the only games that I follow on co-host. It just, the vibes for Demon School just seem really good. It just looks like a fun Persona inspired RPG made by a very small team. I've been hyped for it for a while. I thought this trailer looked great. We've got ourselves, folks, a parody / tribute to side-scrolling platformers called the Transylvania Adventures of Simon Quest. And that trailer looked pretty fucking rad. Simon Quest shows up, and Stan Helsing has already defeated Count Dracula. So the premise is your rival defeated Dracula. So your plan is that you're going to resurrect Dracula so that you can defeat Dracula. And that is a good premise for a video game. So yeah, that one was one that I was like, oh, I want to know more about that. This video game just seems rad. Let's see, what else did I write down? Cozy Dungeons feels like something I wasn't sure if I wanted to do, if I'll end up playing, because there's so many of this kind of like, hey, this is our take on the dungeon crawler or the dungeon builder. But it seems to be a game where you're like, you clear out dungeons. It's not just building a dungeon. You're clearing out dungeons, and then you can renovate those dungeons. And that might be enough of a twist where I want to check it out, that there is going to be apparently some combat related to it. That could be pretty great. Again, I don't know, but it could be. Could work out to be pretty neat. All right, and then this film goes on here. So yeah, this is supposed to be like the film that you load into the camera, and I think this is a neat application. A Lego 3-in-1 with stickers is wild. That is not something that you see, so that's pretty neat. As we're getting almost done with the first part of this 3 builds here. Let's see. Are there any other ones I want to talk about? I would like to know more about Motor Slice. Motor Slice just appears to be a hack and slash where you are a girl that would just really fucking like all these goddamn machines to be destroyed. And if you have to be the one to destroy all the machines, you're going to do it. And that is a premise that I think is good. And it looked pretty cool, but there wasn't much to it. So I would like to see more of it. All right, let's put the film in. The film has been loaded into the camera. God, that's just cool. This is real cool. Oops. And the film came out. Load up the camera, the film there. And then, there's one more spool of film that we can build here, which we will build now. Which will be pretty much just like we built it before. Only there'll be more to build. Let's see. I'm looking at the big list here. I highlighted a bunch of these. Oops, sorry here. There's going to be, they're making, hey, there's a game called Chocolate Factory. Can you guess what Chocolate Factory is? If you guessed, it is a construction game where you make a chocolate factory and and do automation at your chocolate factory. That seems to be what it is. But then there's a bunch of weird shit as well. Because there's a bunch of things that don't want you to do that, and those things seem to be monsters made of various chocolates and stuff. Dungeon Crawler. It's not crawler. It's dungeon call. So Dungeon Crawler is a roguelike claw machine deck building game. And the items that you need in order to build your deck and to get the cards, you are getting a supply of those things from playing a claw machine. And I think that is just a interesting take that I was into. I was into the premise of that one. It seemed neat. With any other ones towards the end? I don't think so. Echo Generation Midnight Edition is a good fucking. It's a video game name, right? Like, it might be the most video game name of anything at the collective. Echo Generation Midnight Edition is like kind of fucking wild for a name for a video game. So I was like, but I'm not necessarily interested in that. But it's a kids making a short film have to investigate some stuff. There's a bunch of paranormal weirdness, and it gets creepy. And it had a fun art style. But mostly I was interested in it because it's got such a goddamn good name for it. Any other ones? Slime Heroes seemed cute. But kind of normal, kind of average. Seemed fine. Like I said, there were 40 games, so I don't remember all of them. I wrote down, some notes on some of them. Toxic Crusaders is a beat 'em up. That's fun that there are fucking beat 'em ups being made in 2024. It's always kind of cool and weird. It's going to have local co-op, which is awesome. And again, kind of a throwback art style that I thought was pretty good. I guess I'll end talking about all of these games by saying the last one that I wrote down notes for that I thought I should bring up here on this here stream is Pinball Spire. It's an action pinball game. Like, there's not much else to say. The marketing for this game called it a Pinballvania. So you can make your own decision if that is a deal breaker or if that is intriguing for you. That was what they were called. The art style is like 16-bit at best, and looked pretty neat. But yes, that is what they referred to it as, a Pinballvania. There's been a couple of those. Yes, there have been. This is not necessarily completely new and unique, but it was enough. It looked cool, and I was like, well, that's cool looking, and then also, fuck you, but also cool. All right, so I'm going to take a couple photos. We're done with this build. This camera has been assembled, and I'm going to take a couple photos of it, and then I'm going to from like a couple angles, and then we'll start fucking disassembling this bad boy. Oh. Oh, wow. Huh. Sorry, That's a wild thing. Okay. Sorry. I got an email that I'll be dealing with after the stream that was kind of buck wild in a very good way. So I'll have more, maybe more on that later. But yeah, I'm going to take a couple photos of this here. Can I get the strap in here? This kind of fucking feels. This looks really fucking good. Like, obviously, it's Lego. Obviously. I'm no fool. This is Lego. But it fucking looks really good. This is the, like, biggest recommendation I can make for a Lego set in a really long time. The Lego Retro Camera 3-in-1, if you just built this, if you didn't build either of the other ones and you only built this and put this on display, this rules. No, so this turns, it doesn't do anything. This turns, it doesn't do anything. This turns, it doesn't do anything. There's no cranks. You'd probably end up spending more to get something that does that. Yeah, Ristafan. What it does do is it does open in the back, and you can. You should be able to pop this open, although now it doesn't want to come out, which is frustrating. I maybe attached this too well, but the back is supposed to pop out, and then which I'll just see if I can. Maybe I can get this out if I do this. Well, that's not going to come out then. All right, I got to figure this out. The back is supposed to pop open. So it doesn't really you can't advance film to turn around. But also this is the 3-in-1. So it has to, whoops. So by pulling this, I'm supposed to be able to pop this open. Clearly it's not working like that intended. So I have to figure out how I'm going to get this open. I don't want to do that. I do want to take this off because I want to take a photo of the back of this. It is neat that some things move around. As I said, the main thing is this is supposed to pop open. What if I take this off? I take this off, and then I take... There we go. Now I can do it. I got it open. But the idea is that you're supposed to be able to pop this open. How easy will this take apart? Lord Crashing, it'll be pretty easy to take apart because, once I get this back open and take the top off, it'll... Disassembly should be pretty easy. But I wanted to take the front thing off because I want to take a photo of the back of this because I think it's neat. The back of the camera is neat, so I want to take a photo of that. So we'll open that up, put these aside for disassembly later. And I want to take a photo of the inside of the camera because this is cool looking. Put that there because I'm going to need that later anyway. But yeah, I would say that this camera was one of the better things that I have built. And we are going to move on. I think we're going to move on to the TV, and we're going to end with the camcorder. And the TV is going to use these photos again. So when I disassemble this, I'm going to keep these pieces, together, which would be fine. I'm not going to peel the stickers off. That would be silly of me. But yeah, this will be pretty easy to disassemble, and that's going to be in the second hour. We're going to be taking that stuff apart as we get ready to build a television. And yeah, and disassembly shouldn't be too much. We'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, if you just wanted to build a camera and you didn't feel like doing all 3 builds, and you just wanted to just do the camera and put it on a shelf, I think that's rad and will be totally a cool idea. But yeah, this thing will break down and we'll null all this. It'll be pretty easy to do. Gotta take this piece actually might be annoying to come off. Put that in. We'll have to see. Getting this piece off might actually be frustrating. Oh, yeah. There it goes. Just kind of had to do it from back. Because I don't think we need this strap for anything else, but I'll put it aside because who knows? Maybe we will. But what we should do is, before I start really taking all this apart and knolling, we should do a pause for the cause. And I'll try to keep this brief because there's not too many folks here tonight. And just say, hi, if you're watching this and you're not already following, please hit the follow button. I build model kits and Lego sets Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Try not to miss any dates. On Tuesdays, I do something that is not model kit building. Generally, it's video games. Sometimes it's something else. I'm going to see right now what it looks like I'll be doing next Thursday because, or next Tuesday, I should say. Next Tuesday. Right now, it looks like I will be playing Steam Next Fest demos next Tuesday because my $3, $5, and $10 patrons have voted that so far. Could go the other way. Enough people, could vote for something else. But right now, that's how it's looking. But yeah, if you're not following, please do. If you haven't subscribed, I would say you should subscribe now and not wait. While it's still $5, you can subscribe here with Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime linked with your Twitch, you can use that token for somebody. I would love it if you used it for me. Also, there are other ways to support what I do here. Maybe you'd be more interested in joining me on Patreon. I have a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBaer. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. Should stress that on my Patreon right now, the $3, $5, and $10 tiers can vote on what I do next Tuesday. The three options for them are Steam Next Fest demos, Hearthstone, the twist mode, and Electrician Simulator, which is a game that I got for free on Epic, and I got 3 through Prime, but it's on Epic, but I got it through Prime, and I've never played it, so I could check that game out. Also on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBaer. Check that out. There is a membership, $2 a month to get my Wednesday videos a day early. So you would have gotten the video that I posted for everybody yesterday. You would have seen that on Tuesday. And those are monthly ways to support me. But if you want to do a direct donation to my Ko-Fi or my PayPal, you could always do that. Everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, which includes AdSense and watching my videos, through Patreon, through Twitch, all goes into a fund. And from that fund, I buy model kits. This Lego set I bought off of Amazon to build on stream with your generosity. So if you would like to subscribe or join Patreon or do a one-time donation, that will be great. I have a backlog of stuff. I just got in another model kit literally today to join the backlog. But if you want to decide what I build next, you could buy something off my Amazon wish list. My birthday, as I've said, is coming up. It is the 23rd of this month. So if you want to buy me a birthday model kit to build on stream, you could. I've got Lego sets. I got model kits. I got inexpensive kits, expensive kits, Pokemon, Digimon, all kinds of different kinds of things to build. Inexpensive kits, incredibly expensive kits. I've recently added some new Lego, some new stuff. A model kit I forgot existed called the Zuda. I completely forgot all about the Zuda. It's a good-looking grunt that I'd be happy to build. It's just a very old kit that I was like, I don't know anything about this. I'm going to add it to the wish list. All kinds of things that I'd be happy to build on stream. And again, it gets expensive. Sometimes they add up and become quite pricey. But, they'll be cool. Let's see. Oh, Lashbrook threw the emotes in the chat. I appreciate that, Lashbrook. Thank you. Trying to just get through this quickly so we can get back to talking about some stuff. I got some anime to talk about. I have a Discord. You can join my Discord if you would like. I'll do that first and then say, I got a throne wish list. You can check out my throne wish list. If you want an alternative to Amazon, you can do that. And then if you want a alternative to those things, you can always go to USA Gundam Store, buy a gift card, send me a DM on Twitter or a DM on Blue Sky or a whisper here on Twitch with the gift card code that you bought that you'll get in your email. And you could do that if you wanted to. Sorry, just really quick, just checking a thing here. And okay, we're good. We're good. Okay. Couple of video links for you to check out. I will have a new episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club coming up on Monday. The current episode is me talking about the 7 shows that are out currently, the 7 anime that are out right now, that are all in their 3rd season. A weird confluence where literally 7 different shows are here in their 3rd season. That's wild and weird. And a couple of them are pretty recent shows that are just episodes keep coming out. And then Kuma Baer is your weekly anime recommendation. Maybe I am preaching to the choir by telling you that this video is about Iron-Blooded Orphans, Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans, one of my favorite Gundam series, one of my favorite mecha series. It's Mecha Month. Every month I have a different theme. June's theme for Kuma Baer is mecha because it's my goddamn birthday month, and I want to talk about my favorite subgenre of anime, which is mecha series. So I'm talking about that. I'm literally going to break one of my own rules this month, and one of the mecha series I'm talking about doesn't have a streaming deal in the United States. They did up until this year, and it expired, and no one picked it up. I won't tell you which one. That's coming out later in the month. But I'm like, you know what? I'm still going to fucking talk about it because it whips ass and you can just buy it on Blu-ray. I don't know. That sucks. You should be able to stream it. It's annoying you can't stream it, legally. You could find it. Anyway, that's enough about that anime. It's time to talk about other anime. Things worked out. We're going to talk about 2 shows that may or may not end up one show that is definitely queer, the other that may end up queer. But we'll do that after we dramatically transition the overhead camera and I drink some water. We'll do that right now. Anime. We're going to talk about Whisper Me a Love Song, Episode 8, and then we'll also talk about, I wrote this down, where's my notes? Is this also Episode 8? No, Episode 9, that's right, Episode 9 of Many Sides of Voice Actor Radio. We'll talk about Episode 8 of Whisper Me a Love Song. And while we're doing that, I am going to null all of this. I won't do too much of the color separation. I'm just doing color separation. I won't do like organizing of parts too much here. We're just going to remove some parts. So I might do something like this, but I won't do it all the time. But I'm just going to be separating colors. I have different spots to put different colored pieces here. And I'll be going through and separating them as best I can by color to make my life easier as we build a television, which will be the next thing that we're going to be building. And then we'll end with the camcorder, which is just fun. And while I am brick separating here using the brick separator or my fingers, depending, I think I'll just try to separate and then I'll try to go through and do by color because I shouldn't do both. I should do one or the other. Episode 8, Whisper Me a Love Song. We are still in Fight Zone. We have Shisho, the girl that used to be in the band, that quit the band. And she's just been like, she's pissed about a lot of stuff, but in particular, she's also pissed because Aki, this girl that she has a lot of respect for, is clearly in love with Yori, the new lead singer of the band. Our girls here, the SS girls. So, Aki's just like, we know Aki is definitely in love with Yori, but Aki is denying that, and Shisho still believes it, Shiho, I should say, and she's like, nah, you definitely are in love with her. It's like, no, and we're gonna earn our spot at the upcoming festival. We don't need any help. We're gonna do this, and Shiho tries to just be even more of an asshole, but Aki is not backing down. Aki refuses to back down from her. And because she doesn't back down, Shiho just leaves. And we'll probably get more on this coming up, but it was pretty much a pretty dramatic fight for a character that we didn't see much of before, and the character that we know is kind of a lovesick mess right now. Aki is still kind of worried about what's happening. We see her crying about it later. They apparently, our girls, the SS girls, earned a slot at the concert. And then Shiho's group also made it in. Their band is called Lorelei, but Lorelei has also made it into it. And they're like, you know what? We don't think that Shiho would have done as well if she'd still been in this band. Like, being in this other band seems to have helped her. Which is like, pretty big of them. Yori thinks that maybe Shiho actually did enjoy, because she quit the band because not everyone was taking it as seriously as she thought they should. And she thought she was better than some of the band members, so that's how she's been jumping from band to band, and some of the girls took that very personally. Aki is convinced that Shiho faked being happy with the band the entire time. She was just kind of waiting for them to get better, and when they didn't get better, she left. But she was just kind of pretending like she was enjoying herself at the time. And Yori doubts that. Let's see. Because they don't really know. Like, when she quit the band, she didn't tell them why she quit. She never opened up to anybody in the group. So maybe someday they'll know. Shiho and Aki make a bet later that if SS girls do a better job at the upcoming concert, then Shiho has to tell Aki why she quit that band. Himari and Yori are couple, the ostensibly main characters of the show, although you wouldn't know it from most of this episode. They finally meet up. And Yori's just like, oh, hey, just so you know, my band is in a feud, apparently. Like, she's giving an update. It's like, yeah, oh, yeah, there's a feud going on. And then from talking about it, because she's like, oh, actually, the girl that my friend in the culinary club is also in a feud. And then Himari just finally realizes, oh, shit. Yori's band and Momoka's band are the two bands in the feud. Oh no, my girlfriend is feuding with my friend from the club that I'm in. Oh no. Yori tells her what's going on and how there's a bet, and she hopes that her girlfriend will cheer for her, but also Himari's conflicted because she doesn't want either group to do badly. But she's going to root for her girlfriend's team. And then Himari tells Miki, like her friend Miki that we've met, all that's going on, because she's kind of the outsider of all this. And then Miki tells Himari about Aki and Shiho and all that. And Himari kind of wants everybody to be friends. She wants to figure out a way to help with that, which good luck. Himari goes to meet with Miki somewhere, and that turns out to be a restaurant that, Shiho works at. But don't worry, because Shiho's only working here temporarily because the band's going to take off, and then she'll be able to quit this job when she goes pro. And it's like, okay, girl. All right. Okay. Sure. And we get a Shiho Flashback. We learn more about our villain, quote unquote. Um, that she was a talented violinist and she was always better than everyone else at the violin. Um, but she did have some friends, and she wants to be a violinist. And somebody that she really respected and admired went into a different field of music than her, and it really messed her up. Uh, because like she basically had like a friendly rival, and it turns out that friendly rivalry, the other person didn't consider it a rivalry at all, because she's like, yeah, I don't care about the violin. I want to play the guitar. My dad made me do this, but I want to be a guitarist. And that really fucked up Shiho a lot. But turns out she's a really good guitarist, and it was kind of all for naught. And our the rivalry here again, completely one sided. And let's see. But then Shio's just like, this girl who's better at me than the violin doesn't even want to be a violinist. And because she kept losing to her, she eventually quit the violin and focused on the becoming a guitar. It's a weird, it's kind of a mess. I will say this end part of this episode is a bit of a mess, but basically, to sum it up, this girl, like, clearly was in love with with another girl, wanted to be rivals with her, so they could push each other. It was not mutual, and eventually, even she couldn't defeat her in the thing that the girl didn't even care about. So Shiho eventually quit violin and is now playing the guitar as a way to like make up for lost time with the girl that she hasn't even talked to anymore. And kind of like she wants to succeed in that rival of hers dream. And it's messy. It's a messy thing. It took me a little while to fully grok what was going on with that. But yeah, we got some character development from our villain of the story, which is kind of neat to dive into that. And then the many sides of voice actor radio, episode 9. We pick up where we left off, where Yumiko is in over her head with this role. She's not feeling great about it. And then when she was kind of trying to pretend like it wasn't a big deal, that made Chika mad. And so she doesn't want to disappoint Chika anymore, and she doesn't want to disappoint herself anymore. She goes for advice from her manager, Ringo, and maybe to review the performance and get some good feedback from her manager. Because she's like, he just wasn't sure why the director didn't like it. She thought it was good. But apparently, the idea is that the basic idea is like, yeah, when because she didn't audition for this, she auditioned for a different role, and she really became that role that she auditioned with, and was very much tapped into that character. And she's just kind of reading the lines well, but she's not inhabiting the character in this other role. So that's why he's disappointed. He needs to kind of become the role. She just needs to do a better job to get in touch with this particular character. Let's see. And then we get more advice, don't overwork yourself. With the next one, try to have some fun with it. And then also, if bit that it's a little weird, she's like, don't go to Chica for advice. And I don't think it was because, like, oh, she won't have any good advice for you. My interpretation of that was because the two of you should not be only dependent on each other for work things. That's what I think she was trying to say. Like, don't worry about, let her deal with her problems. Just, you two don't have to be only interested in each other for work related things, is what I think anyway. Let's see. Yumiko and Wakana hang out because, the advice given was, hey, try to mix in some fun. And apparently it is the holidays. I knew it was winter, but it's apparently Christmas because, hey, Christmas karaoke is going to happen. The whole class is going for karaoke. And Chica gets invited too. Basically, Wakana sets her up so that the competitive nature in Yumiko doesn't, she has to agree. So all part of her plan. Wakana is a little worried that she may forced her, but it's okay. Wakana invited Chica basically because she wants to try to help because Chica's been really stressed as well lately. There's a lot. These girls had a lot on their plate. But Yumiko recognizes, oh yeah, Chica is having fun. This is a good plan. And then also when Wakana asked her about her work, we got to see the excited girl talk about that. Because Chica is excited about this anime. She is excited about working on the anime. Chica gets convinced to sing. And then Yumiko knows the song. And we did not. So Yumiko sings a Chica song. Chica goes to sing a Yumiko song. We didn't get to hear that. Maybe we will later. And then the two of them sing the ending song. So there's an alternate version now of the ending song with the voice actor singing it. Although I think they actually sing the other version too, but it's slightly different for this episode, and it's fun. It's two of them doing a duet, and it's very cute and very like, okay, if these two characters do not confess their love for each other at the end, that's going to be really annoying because this episode is big on like, there's big Yuri vibes in this goddamn episode. This episode is more queer baiting than the episode where they took a bath together. Somehow this one has got more like, all right, okay, I see what you're doing here. And Wakana definitely thinks that the two of them should be together. She is shipping the two of them. It's very clear when they're singing together. And the two of them had fun. But apparently Chica is just like kind of more interested in hanging out with just the two of them and not necessarily always in a group because she doesn't love group stuff. And there's there's not like a huge misunderstanding, but there's a little like, oh, okay. Basically, like, Yumiko is like, are you confessing something to me? But really, it's just that Chica was just being honest about how she wants to spend more time with her bestie, or their new bestie. And it's very cute. It is nice we get to see Chica trying to help out Yumiko, where it's kind of been the other way for most of this. Chica's like, do you want me to ask my dad? Because her dad is in the industry. Like, should I ask him to give you advice? And Yumiko's just like, no, I got some pretty good advice. I think I'm okay, because she just doesn't want to bother him. Um, uh, because our girls are appreciative of one another and what they're trying to do for each other, and it's a nice bit of business. There's a lot of like good support happening within these characters, and it's fun. That they're rooting for each other and trying to help each other out. When 8 episodes ago at the start of the series, they were rivals and they were unhappy to be paired together, and now they're each other's support system, and that's lovely to see. It's lovely to see them doing so well together. But they're trying to help each other out in this one. And they're honest with each other, and Yumiko's just like, I want to live up to what you think of me, basically. I want your opinion of me to be correct. And they're doing well. Let's see. There's a Blu-ray recording, so they got to keep working on some stuff, and they've got to keep working hard together. And then I guess the next episode we're gonna see the girl that sucks, the fan girl who also sucks. Mekaru is coming back, who apparently, now this is not anything to do with the anime. This has to do with the fandom. Apparently, she is very popular among Japanese fans of this show. Apparently, that we are in. I don't know if we're in best girl territory, but we're close to it. Apparently, there is a growing internet support for the girl who is a mess, that sets herself up to be the villain, but is really just a fangirl that oopsed her way into being the villain. And apparently that has resonated with some fans on the internet. Weird, I know. All right, we are almost done knolling this. We are almost ready to work on the TV. Now is the part of the stream, though, where I want to hear from you. We are small but mighty tonight, but I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? Are there any video games that you're into? Are there any movies you're watching, TV shows you're checking out, music you're listening to? What do you got going? What are you into? What's got you excited? Now is the part of the stream where I can hear from you about that. I will say, I have only played like half an hour of it, but Marvel's Midnight Suns is free on Epic right now. I believe it is the free game of the week, and it'll be free till next week. And it is a game that the style of game is not my favorite, so I never picked it up, but free is good. And I heard the character interactions in Midnight Suns was fantastic. So I've heard such good things about that, the character interactions and all of that, that I was like, you know what? Hey, I'll get this. I put about a half an hour into it. I can say this game feels like it has a lot of heart. I don't know if the systems work throughout the whole thing. I know this game sold kind of poorly. It kind of came out towards the end of the year, 2022 maybe, and didn't, or 2021, and didn't do particularly well. But I know the people that played it really liked it. So I have gotten a little bit into it. Like I said, not too far. I am going to dedicate more time to it probably this weekend around Summer Game shenanigans. But I was happy with what I saw of it, about a half an hour that I played with it. So I liked that. So I will dedicate some more time to that probably in the near future. Other things that I have been playing, I'm playing a lot of Hearthstone still. You know me. I am enjoying a bunch of decks in Twist. There are a lot that are very silly, and I'm enjoying them quite a bit, playing a lot of that. That has been a lot of my free time, has been that game. Helldivers, I haven't played in a little bit. A couple folks in the group, or in my multiplayer group, have had weird hours, and we haven't been able to get enough people together to play. We will get back to it. I'm convinced that we will get back to it because it is still for a lot of the multiplayer folks. That's the game they're most into, so we'll get back into that. There are still a couple people in my crew playing X Defiant. That have seemed to found a version of X Defiant that they like, so they are playing that, and good on them. I'm glad they have a game that they're enjoying, but that is not necessarily something that I'm interested in. So I would like to do that. Yesterday I played some D&D, and that was very fun. My regular D&D game. We got together and had a good time. So that was really good because it's been a little hit or miss sometimes. The last session before this one, I was kind of down on. We just like really bad luck in the rolls, and it was like a heavy storyline thing, and it wasn't going our way. And then some people were trying to just have fun with it, and other people weren't interested in having fun because they were just mad about what was happening, and it wasn't the best environment. I think we got over it. I think we're in a better place now as a crew, so I'm looking forward to more shenanigans in that. But yeah, it was like kind of a rough vibe there for a little bit in our D&D campaign. Tuesday, I played on stream Pokemon Black Randomizer, and I had a really good time with that run. We beat a gym leader, and we advanced a little bit in the story. It was fun. We right at the very end caught another legendary. I now have a team with 3 dragons on it, which is too many fucking dragons. That's just too many goddamn dragons on a team. But on the plus side, it's good and silly. So I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying the nonsense of having a dragon heavy team. We'll find out. We said goodbye to Buttmouth, so that we could welcome in another big Paul to the team. Paul White is now on the team, and that's a silly thing. And here's the thing. I rarely use steel types, so I'm excited to use a steel type Pokemon. I'm gonna level Paul White up on my own because he's below level of the rest of the team, and also I want to kind of boost the level. So I'll do that before the next time we stream. But yeah, Tuesday was fun. I had a good time with that. I am now going to read what some of y'all have been writing in the chat. Lord Crashton says, I've been playing a good bit of Rocket League now that the new season started with the Nissan Fair Lady Z as a featured car for the new Battle Pass. Nice. I haven't touched Rocket League in years. I'm glad you are still enjoying Rocket League. That rules, Lord Crashington. Hope you're having a great time with the Rocket Leagues. Ghostval says, almost done with Magic card sorting for shipping sale. Magic the Gathering. Got a bit of Helldivers in yesterday. Hell yeah. Helped out my brother-in-law with some heavy lifting for getting project materials. Okay, nice. Doing a little physical labor. It's very warm out here right now, and I am thinking that I might end up doing some yard work tomorrow, but I am also wondering what if I didn't? What if I didn't do a lot of fucking yard work tomorrow and instead I did something else? But we'll see how that goes. But when I wake up tomorrow, I might end up going into the way backyard here and doing some raking. Ugh. I think I'm going to do that when I get up. One thing I am going to do tomorrow, I'm going to do it Saturday. I'm not doing it tomorrow. Saturday, I'm going to dust the computer. I'm going to take the computer apart, take it out to the garage, and blow air into it and clean it out because I have not done that in the month of June yet. And it's June. It's time to do it. It's time to do the monthly cleaning, try to clean all that stuff out. So that is going to be one of my jobs this weekend. That is a this weekend task. Aristfan says, very busy week catching up on Final Fantasy 14. Hell yeah. Have fun, my friend. Hope you're having a great time with the Final Fantasying. And last, Lord Crasher says, I didn't realize Digital Eclipse is publishing the Volgar the Viking sequel, which is wild. I did not realize that either. That is cool. I need 6 of these. I got 6 of these. And I need 2 of these. Here's 1. Here's 2. And then I need 2 of these things. I need 1 more of these things. I just separated by color, but they're just piled together. So finding all the pieces sometimes can be a little troublesome. Yeah, I didn't realize that either, Lord Crashington. That's cool. It is cool that they're doing that. They're publishing a modern game with a bit of a throwback vibe, but yeah. Drew directed Brad with the trailer. Yes, that's awesome. Because that's very, because he played the first game. So yeah, now Brad can be excited about something for August. Because I know Nextlander was a little worried about that stuff. Lastbrick says, I watched the Acolyte premiere and it was all right. I've been playing more Pepper Grinder to finally clear it off my plate. Still don't really enjoy the boss fights. Yeah, I heard the same thing, Lashbrook, from Pepper Grinder fans, people that liked the game but didn't necessarily love the bosses. So I'm glad you're going back to it, that it is not a deal breaker for you, even if it is not necessarily something that you're super into. My gaming stuff right now, like I said, I'm gonna play Midnight Suns because it was free. I want to check that out. I am excited to play some demos next week. Steam Next Fest demos. I will start going through a list. By Tuesday, there should be one. I will probably tweet out and put something on Blue Sky as well, asking for people to give me recommendations of demos to play. It'll be early enough in Next Fest that I should be able to get a good amount of stuff to play. And I don't know if I'm going to do hey, it's been 10 minutes, I got to move on. Or if it'll just be vibes. But I think I'll probably go on mostly just vibes for the demos because I've never done a demos only stream. I looked back in my notes and I've never done I've done hey, we're checking out the early access of this. Certainly. But I don't think I've ever done a stream where I just looked at a bunch of demos. So we'll do that next Tuesday, and I'm excited for that. That'll be fun. That is my Patreon's choice. Last week I've been playing a bunch of Multiverses. That game has too many events to do. Yeah. Hey, Multiverses. Big note from your friend Pat. Still kind of enjoy the game. My number one thing about Multiverses is I don't want to do PvE content just to unlock people for PvP. In the wise words of Graham Stark, I didn't know there was PvE content for this. And I was like, oh yeah, there is. I don't really want to do it. But yeah, I'm doing that so that I gotta, there's just too much going on. It is, that game got too free to play. It is too much. I'm not super into Multiverses. Also, it feels slower. It feels slower and more sluggish. And I think that is the jump from UE4 to UE5 is my guess. But I'm no game developer, so I can only speculate. Lord Crash says, I downloaded a demo of Pool Cleaning Simulator. That's from that publisher that makes a ton of Sims. But it references Power Wash Simulator in the description. Pool Cleaning Simulator. Okay, I might check out that demo next week because I like games like that. I like simulators. So sure, that might be a demo that I check out. I don't know. Lesper says, I think the PvE is fine. It just gives me something to do if I go on a losing streak. Lesper fan says, too much freedom. This is America. Um, yeah, Lastberg, I can understand what you're saying. That if you can break it up. I hear that. I think sometimes if I'm going on a big enough losing streak, I just look around in my Discord of friends who do multiplayer, and I try to get a 2v2 game going, get some friends in that want to buddy up and do some of that. I'm so bad at that, but also no one in my crew is like maining multiverses, so we are at similar levels of figuring that shit out. So it's good. It's a good vibe when you are similarly, not great at the game. We complement each other on that, so that works out pretty okay. All right, put that there. Put that there. But yeah, that's kind of in my gaming. I'm mostly Hearthstone playing this twist mode that's been really fun with these weird decks and weird hero powers that are non-traditional in fun ways and silly. And I'm having a good time with that. It almost makes me want to craft some legendaries that I don't have so I can play some other decks. But I have the most fun one, which is Bran. That one I think is the most fun. And then I have the quote-unquote best one, which is Arthas, because just like the excavate rewards you get for that are so good, and the deck is actually well balanced. It's certainly the best one of any of them. There are a few others that like you can cheese out. There's a Cthulhu deck that's really fun. But it is not. It's easy to lose with the Cthulhu. The problem with the Cthulhu is that it's easy to build a good Cthulhu, and you actually can get Cthulhu starts in your hand, so you're always going to have that card. The problem is that there are a couple decks in there where the hero has like too much goddamn health, and so you're not gonna be able to win the fight. You're really gonna have to out vamp everybody, and that's just not gonna work out. But it is fun to play a Cthulhu deck in the year 2024. It does make me feel happy to do that. All right, I need that. All right, we got 4 of those. This TV is coming together. I mean, it's TV. There's not much to say about this particular build. I'm enjoying this part of the build, but I don't have a lot to say about it right now. I think once we get more of this put together, it'll start to feel better. I will say, like I said, if you were going to pick up this kit, this 3-in-1 kit, my recommendation would be to immediately build the camera, the digital or the film camera, because it was fucking great. It was so cool. I don't generally, when I do 3-in-1s, I just completely disassemble it and I put it in a box that I'm going to ship out for Lego replay so that the Lego can be cleaned and all that. I might build that camera again. I might, after I'm done with the camcorder, take it apart and build that camera again for a while. It won't be there. It won't be like permanent display, but I am tempted to just build that again because it was cool. Also, I never build fucking Lego on my own time. I only disassemble and sort Lego on my own time. So the idea of taking like the camcorder, the third thing apart, and then building the original one again so that I have it is very fucking tempting to me. There's just something about that would be pretty cool. All right, so I need those. I need that. I need 1 long. And I need 3 short here. Working on our television. Put these in the corner. in our frame, and then we're filling pieces in. Whoop. Okay. Goes in there. Yeah. Oops. Could always pull that piece out if I need to get in there. And then that goes like that. Yeah. That goes like that. Whoop. And then this goes on the outside, and this fills in there. This is looking neat. Hell yeah. Step 19. We will get to step 19 in the future. Got more TV to build. And then we'll null that, disassemble null that, and then build a camcorder as well. But yeah, that's going to do it for tonight's stream. We are going to raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We're going to go find someone to do cool stuff. There's not, we're small but mighty tonight, but also that doesn't mean that we aren't going to go and find somebody cool to go hang out with, because we always have to share the love. We always got to go and hang out with some folks and see what's up. Let's see. Who are we going to go hang out with tonight? We are going to go hang out with Matt Wiggins. Matt Wiggins is streaming Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And we're going to go hang out with Matt as he does that. He is doing another several streams. He's doing a 1,000 days of madness, I guess. This is 40th stream of 1,000, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure what Matt's fucking up to, except that he's playing Final Fantasy, which is very Matt Wiggins. So feel free to come along on this raid. Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern, we'll talk about the Summer Game Fest. And if I watch any of the Wholesome, probably on Saturday, we'll talk about that as well. Anime and manga to talk about on Saturday. Good vibes, good hangouts. Thank you all so much for being here. Sorry it got weird when some people came in to be weirdos that I assume knew each other and were just having fun on a Thursday. I blocked them all. So that's the end of that. Thanks all so much for being here. Hope you have a great rest of your night. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Good.